I think it'll depend on who we play. I think that it could be Austin, it could be Mike McGurl. I don't think it'll be Cartier, but we anticipate right now that Cartier will play.
What kind of lift will he give you, even if it is just off the bench?
Oh, there's no doubt his experience, and he's been through this. He was part of the run last year. I mean, the sad part, right before he hurt his hand, I thought he was just playing as well as he's done in his career, and now can he get that back quickly? We'll just have to see.
He said in there he's itching to play. I mean, he would have played a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the first day we gave him any freedom, he said, "I'm ready to play." And the whole thing is we're trying to protect him, our team doctors, our trainers, just to make sure that bone is healed. And you hate to have something crazy happen, so we've been very diligent about not allowing contact. He went and dunked out there, and we were telling him not to dunk, and he says it's with his right hand, but you get that other hand there, and the wrong thing happens. We're just hope for the best and see if he can do it. But I know he wants to play.
Dean is out for the tournament.
I would anticipate that. We left him back. He was back after we had a first practice, and we just had him do treatment and just see how he's doing. I would really doubt if he's going to play this weekend. And we're just leaving it up to him and the team doctors, and his future is too important.
Yeah, with both these guys, how tough is it to strike the balance between wanting to win this thing and play for seed, but then also making sure they're ready for it?
Yeah, there's no doubt it's a tough balance, but we went through it last year. You got to look out for the student athlete and what's the best interest for him. And again, we talked with our team doctor this morning about Cartier, and he's got to understand there is some chance that if he falls or something, that you hope that bone's healed. So it's a fine line, but we came here to win. Yeah. I told our guys, you only get to do this 4 times in your career. You only get, seniors. This is their last tournament. Big 12 does a great job. Kansas City does a great job. I would anticipate once they run out on that court and they're part of it, they're going to compete at a high level.
Coach, talk to me about your seniors. We were talking about how different it is for them coming in this year versus last year. They were even telling me about their speeches of go fight. But tell me a little bit about what you see in them. Is there a determination that's different from a year ago?
Well, I think the whole season, they've been special. They have great leadership. Barry's as good as any I've ever been part of. Dean and Cam to be resilient, to come back from injuries, illnesses, all the different things they have. They've been great leaders. They've been very unselfish. They have helped our other guys and our program, go in the right direction. And, you couldn't be more proud that they got to celebrate last Saturday with a conference championship. It was definitely a special moment for everybody.
Who gives the best team speeches? They said you first, but when it comes to players, who's the
best? Barry's the guy that talks, and he's the one who says stuff all the time. They have their own personal meeting after our meeting every game, and I have not, I don't go and listen or eavesdrop or anything. So I would anticipate Barry, but I think sometimes I always tell Dean if he says something, people will listen. Same thing with Cam, because they don't say a whole bunch, and when they say something, you hope it gets their attention.
It was hard enough to win the Big 12. It's been really hard for teams to win this tournament too.
Oh yes.
How does this field look compared to some of them that you've seen in your time in this league?
Well, I think last year I thought it was the best I've ever been part of, 1 through 10. This year I think we have the top teams maybe aren't quite as good, but the balance is unbelievable. And you see it even in the last weeks. Oklahoma State going to Texas Tech, taking them to overtime. And, just every game is important. Oklahoma winning 4 out of 5 and coming into our place. You got great balance and different styles, and it all adds up to a really tough league, which is tough to deal with. So if it was tough to deal with for 18, it's going to be tough to deal with 3 in 3 nights.
Now you get to be the 1 seed, though, so that's supposed to make it easier.
Well, I hope so. You get a team, they have to play tonight, and then they got to make a quick turnaround. TCU, if they're able to come through, they're fighting for their lives. I'm sure their guys are watching, who's the last ones in and all that stuff. So, and then Oklahoma State, I think Mike's done as good a job after our game at home. I was worried that, maybe they he'd maybe lose them, but he's done a great job of keeping them competing, not only taking people down to the wire, winning games. So it's going to be tough, but you hope not playing today, you get a little bit of an advantage. Being ready to play tomorrow, getting some energy will help you. But after that, I don't think it matters because then it's up in the air.
With Dean, do you have any sense yet on whether he'll be able to heal fast enough to play next week?
Well, I hope so. But I can't, promise anything. Luke's been with them. We're on spring break, so he's with them. I don't want to say 24/7, but basically early morning, back in the afternoon, and that's why we got him back in the hotel right now getting treatment.
What has Kamal meant to you guys the last 5 games?
And I know it's hard, and our league's good, and there's a lot of good players, but, one, Xavier Snead should have been on the all-defensive team and possibly should have been on third team, I thought, and same with Cam. Both those guys have been really, really special. Xavier consistent through the whole thing. Cam to be resilient and come back. But this last, 5-game stretch, 3 of them he wasn't at shoot-around because he had migraines and he couldn't be part of it. And then he comes out and plays at a high level. And, if Dean's not playing, obviously Cam can really help us because he provides that spark, some scoring. And, I don't know if you guys realize the other day, the 3 seniors were 14 assists, 1 turnover against Oklahoma. You can't get much better than that. That's pretty special.
He had 18 and he had 6 assists and no turnovers. Is that arguably his best game overall?
It might have been, and then when you think about the stage to win the Big 12 on that, that's special. And that little run in the second half just got that arena going and got us going, and it made a big difference. I'm just happy for him because it is, it's not been easy. The freshman year, he was probably the best of the 3. Then the injury, midway through second year, injury again last year, dealing with stuff this year. You got to give him credit, the little guy that keeps trying.